Welcome to Experiments in Love. We're your hosts, Ash,
And Crystal.
and today we're going to talk about who we are, what this is, and what you can get from it.
Yes, and coming into this space, you'll get to know how our experiments may not have gone so well in love. And maybe you'll do better than us.
Maybe, but some of these experiments did bear fruit, and that's what we want to share with you as well.
Absolutely.
So, just to touch base on who we are, um, I'm a white male in my 40s, able bodied, um, average build, I guess. Um,
You like long walks on the beach?
yes. And cats.
Yes. And my name is Crystal, and I am a black woman, differently abled, had a concussion and spine injury, and I'm obese, morbidly obese, and raised as a Christian and then eventually became a pagan.
Hmm.
So it's been fun.
Yeah. And I come from a Christian Catholic background and still hold on to pseudo bits of that, though I'm more agnostic now.
Yeah, we're finding our own paths.
Yeah. And that's been part of the experiment. It's not just our experiment together, but it's experiments in life in general.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, in full disclosure, the reason why this is called Experiments in Love is because when we met in 2010, and after only going out a couple of times, you asked me, "So, hey, are we dating now?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll try a science experiment. Okay." And that's how it's been ever since. We've been married since 2014, so it'll be 8 years this month,
Hmm.
and we're getting to have fun.
Yeah. And it's been an interesting experiment, even when the times get tough, just reminding ourselves that, hey, this is an experiment. Neither one of us had really been in a long term relationship before. All we had was our parents' guidance, like what we learned growing up, what society has told us, what
Hmm.
movies, all these things like that. But actual lived experience was kind of nil. So this was kind of an experiment because we had no idea. I could say I had no idea what I was doing. I thought I did, and I was completely wrong. I learned through trial and error.
And I learned the mistake of thinking that he knew what he was doing because I had not had a long-term relationship. I had dated several times, but not like a long-term committed relationship. And I had also lived alone for a couple of years.
Yeah, and I did not. I've lived with somebody in my entire life. I've never been on my own.
So it was very different backgrounds indeed.
Yeah, and even our family dynamics. I come from a household. My parents have been married for 40 something years. Codependent relationship. Thinking that's how love's supposed to be.
And I was raised by a single mom who was dating as best as she possibly could, but I never really got to see her being loved on as a black woman, so I didn't even know that was an option for me.
Hmm. Yeah, so there's a lot of differences going on. Yet it was our similarities that attracted us to each other. I found, or at least for myself, finding out that my partner enjoyed singing. We actually met at karaoke, and that she had some geeky interests, and I'm like, oh yeah, here we go, jackpot.
Yes, movie geek trivia. That was my thing, and that's how I knew I could find someone who was part of my tribe, one of my people.
Even though in the beginning I think I was on the fence because I'm like, well, I could go with a partner or a best friend, but either way, I wanted this person in my life, and I'm glad this experiment really grew into fruition.
Seriously, because I don't think that because of our backgrounds and not knowing, both of us have social anxiety disorder on top of this.
And hopefully oblivious.
Completely oblivious. I don't think we would have met. We were lucky that somebody at karaoke pointed out to me, they're like, "Hey, I think that guy likes you." And I'm like, "What? He likes me?"
It took until my partner put her arm around me to keep me warm because we were out at the beach late at night that I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Maybe she likes me too. Like I said, hopefully oblivious.
Completely,
And utterly
completely.
awkward. But yeah, that's kind of been the kind of the motto of this relationship, that this has been an experiment. Everything that we do is kind of new and untested, and we do it again and again in better ways until we find out what works for us. And surprise, surprise, a lot of the things that work for us is not the things that society and our parents and all that told us would work. What works for us probably wouldn't work for some other people as well. It took us trying these different things to learn what worked for us.
Exactly. And it's been the most important thing that we've really learned, or at least that I've really learned in this process, is that our relationship gets to be ours. And it's based upon what each of us is bringing into the space and not based on what society should tell me that a relationship would look like. I thought of Barbie and a white picket fence, and that like we would be together and you would like be my hero prince and you'd sweep me off my feet and you'd have all the answers for everything and I would just be like a little cute Susie homemaker. But
Yeah. I liked to believe I had all the answers. I quickly learned that I did not. That's when reality set in. All the societal lies that told me as a white male that I was supposed to have all the correct answers. I learned I did not at all. And I'm grateful for that because that allowed me to learn what are the correct answers. It's all been a learning experience.
exactly. And what I had to learn was because I was tired of having to be the strong black woman all the time. But damn it, I had to hold up that role for quite a while because I was like, I want a man who's going to take care of everything. And then realizing that neither of us had a clue what we were doing, I had to step up again. So it was this process of for me of like being single and independent for a while to be able to adjust to having someone else in my space and me putting the assumptions of my experiences on my partner, but realizing that he didn't have those experiences at all. And that's been, I think, the big learning piece is this projection of putting my experience on my partner and him putting his experiences on me.
Mm,
And instead, we're really having to discover who the other person is and
yeah.
respecting that.
Yeah, that's very true. I came into this relationship with a lot of assumptions. And a lot of the baggage I was carrying, I thought my partner had the same baggage. And, we did not have matching luggage. But yes, and forewarning, there will be a lot of bad puns in this in these upcoming videos, but that's part of my charm.
Please save me. Oh my God, I had to adjust to the dad jokes, and I'm still adjusting. I'm just gonna say that. Oh, my IQ melted.
Anyway, to get serious, that's a good portion of who we are. As you listen to these podcasts, these recordings, we'll go into a lot more depth of who we are, what we've experienced, what we've learned, and that's essentially what we're going to get to with this series of experiments in love. Basically, we're presenting it here because, like I said early on, we learned a lot through of our experiment processes. There's been a lot of trial and error. There has been a lot of wonderful results, and just wanted to kind of share that journey and that process. Then maybe with you and your partner or future partner, that you could learn how to experiment with your own love and learn what works for you.
Right, to navigate and not make the same mistakes that we made. Because sometimes the experiment grew mold. At other
Yes.
times it exploded. And we had to get a new lab.
I'm still trying to grow back my eyebrows.
So there's this huge process right now of we recognize we're in our 40s. We got together in our late 20s,
Yeah.
early 30s. So we're recognizing that there are younger couples that are getting together and also going through this process of getting to know your partner. But then the other part of it too is getting to know who you are so that you can present what your limits, what your
Mm.
boundaries are, what your capabilities may be. And your partner gets a chance to buy into that versus, I expect you to read my mind and know exactly what I need. That doesn't go here.
No, no. I've tried to read my partner's mind. It does not work.
And I was psychic before I met him and I lost my abilities. I overtaxed it and my brain said, nah, I can't do this.
Right. But yeah, really, I think each episode that you listen to of our upcoming episodes is going to be dedicated to a different subject, something that we experienced. It could be about intimacy, it could be about avoidance. There's just 12.
Sex.
Yep.
We're going to talk about sex.
Baby,
We're going
let's
to talk
talk
about
about
you
you
and
and me.
me. Yes, we are going to talk about sex, the failures of sex, the success of sex, the benefits of sex. And that's the reason why this podcast is called Experiments in Love, because these are the subjects that nobody wants to talk about. And that's including, like with my experience of being a black woman,
Mhm.
being of a different race and adjusting, being differently abled and adjusting, because sex is very different when you can't move your neck from a car accident. But I found that my partner really loved me, the fact that he was allowing me to sit in the center of the couch because I wanted smooches. And he would go around me on either side giving me kisses until my neck would give out on one side, so I had to turn my head the other way. Yeah.
Yeah,
So we're going to talk about all those little things that I wish somebody would have said. This is how to get your lovin'.
exactly. It's kind of jumping ahead, but it makes me think of, when I got into the relationship with my partner, I wish there was a guide. I wish there was something that kind of would warn me or something of some sort of information that, getting together with my partner could have saved a lot of the struggles and pain and whatnot. Because I've hurt my partner multiple times, and I've felt hurt before too, and we've had to work through these things, and maybe we can help you, our listeners, avoid a little bit of that pain. Maybe it'll only take you 11 years instead of 12 years to really feel deeply in love. Because right now I feel more in love with my partner than I ever have. Even when we got married, I love my partner more than when we got married. And it took me 12 years to get to that point. And hopefully it only takes you 11, maybe less.
Maybe less.
Maybe
Who
more,
knows?
who knows? But if we can shave off a little bit of that time,
Seriously, go for it. Honestly, I think that this should have been a class taught in high school.
right?
I don't remember them teaching this. Also, yeah, like I didn't. Yeah, they taught sex ed,
Mm,
but not how to be with another human being
yeah.
and to connect. They're just like, figure this out with other people, but you don't know who the hell you are.
Mm.
So, yeah, this should be a required class because I think that the world would be a lot better place.
Yeah, if I had some sort of user manual or something, I don't know, a class would have been amazing. But, like I said, we're in our 40s, or I'm in my 40s.
I'm in my 40s.
Yeah, you're 40
I'm
now.
so, but black don't crack,
Yeah,
and I'm so young. Sex will keep you young, darling.
right.
That's why I look like I'm in my 20s.
She does. It's obscene. And I'm here aging like milk.
Yep. You're gonna be an old man just chasing after me in the nursing home, and I'm like, oh baby, I'm in my 40s. What are you talking about?
But yeah, that's. I think my point was, in our 40s, and just now really feeling love in the full range, full spectrum, and we still have a lot to go, a lot of growth, or at least on my side of the street, I have a lot of growth.
Exactly. And so, what we're hoping for you is that you get to have a different experience, something that is much more healthy and productive. Just, learning all the weirdness that we've had to go through.
Yeah, and if anything else, at least maybe it'll spark some thoughts, some consideration with you and your partner or your future partners. Like, hey, maybe we should try this. This isn't working. Let's try something else. I don't,
Right. Mix a little bit of this with a little bit of that, and we get lovin's. So stay tuned and be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and our website and our Instagram and TikTok. We will be all over the place with Experiments in Love.
Thank you for joining in. This was Ash,
And this is Crystal,
wishing you the best experiments.
and signing out with love.